Hi, welcome back. Today we're talking about something that confuses almost everyone at first. Why people sometimes use both a will and a trust. Aren't they redundant? If you make one, why would you need the other? Aren't they kind of doing the same thing? These are common questions, and the answer might surprise you. In a well-designed plan, a will and a trust are not redundant. They're actually a team. Think of it like a security system for your home. Your trust is like the high-tech locks you use every day while you're living there. Your will is like the security cameras and the backup alarm that sit quietly in the background, ready to catch anything that the primary system might miss. In this lesson, we're going to look at the interplay between these two powerful tools. By the end, you'll see that the choice isn't necessarily between a will or a trust, but rather how to use them together to ensure nothing falls through the cracks. To understand why they aren't redundant, we have to look at what each one can do that the other cannot. Let's start with the will. As we've discussed, a will is your foundational document. It is your voice after you're gone. There are some things that only a will can do. Most importantly, for those with young families, a will is the only legal place where you can name a guardian for your minor children. A trust simply cannot perform that vital role. Your will also names your executor, the person who helps the court carry out your final instructions. However, a will has boundaries. It only takes effect after you pass away, and it generally must go through the court-supervised probate process. This is where your trust steps in to provide a different level of care. A revocable living trust is a living document. It could provide a massive benefit while you are still alive, particularly if you ever face a period of incapacity. If you become ill or injured and cannot manage your own affairs, your trustee could step in immediately to manage the assets inside the trust for your benefit. A will is silent during your lifetime. It cannot help you while you are in a hospital bed, but a trust could. The real magic happens when these two tools work together after you're gone. The goal for many people is to avoid the delays and public record of probate. To do that, you must fund your trust by moving your assets, like your home or your bank accounts, into the trust's name while you are still alive. If you do this perfectly, those assets may skip the court process entirely and reach your family much faster. But let's be realistic. Life is busy, and we are all human. It is very common for someone to buy a new car, open a new investment account, or receive an unexpected inheritance and forget to retitle it in the name of their trust. If that happens, those forgotten assets would be left out in the cold. This is where your will acts as the failsafe. When used with a trust, your will can perform a slightly different job, when it becomes what experts call a pour-over will. It basically says, if I forgot to put anything into my trust while I was alive, please pour it into the trust now, so it can be distributed according to the rules I already wrote down. Can a trust distribute my assets in the same way we discussed with a will? Yes, and with added benefits such as making distributions over time, or retaining the assets until your beneficiaries reach specific ages. So, why would you want both? Because a trust provides speed, privacy, and protection during your life, along with greater flexibility after your life. A will provides the legal authority for guardianship and ensures that your plan is airtight, even if you forget a detail. Using them together means you are prepared for the expected and protected against the unexpected. Here's the perspective shift for today. You aren't necessarily overcomplicating your life by having both. A trust can be your primary tool for efficiency, and we will discuss trusts more in depth in a later unit. But your will is the safety net that makes sure your intentions survive no matter what. And here's a vital truth. A trust is only useful and powerful for the assets that actually make it into the trust. That's where people get tripped up. They create a trust, but they don't move assets into it either during life or at their death. That moving step is called funding the trust. And if the trust isn't funded, the trust may look impressive on paper, but it may not do much in real life. If you only watch this video today, you've already cleared away the confusion that keeps many people from finishing their plan. You now know that these tools have different jobs and that they work better as a pair. If you're ready for a small, immediate step, I invite you to look at your current list of assets. Ask yourself, if I were to use a trust, are these the things I would want to protect from probate? Then, think about your children or pets. Since only a will can name a caregiver for them, just jotting down your first choice for that role is a huge step toward clarity. For those who want to go deeper, we have optional resources to compare wills and trusts. You're also welcome to move into the unit on trusts, where we zoom in on different types of trusts, how they're commonly used, and practical tips in planning an estate that works best for you.